Right, so this is Paul Cherry Trains. It's a Thursday evening, it's about 9:30 in the evening, and we're going to put right a little bit of a wrong that was done to a particular model. And we're talking about the wonderful Lima Western Enterprise in desert sand livery. Now, this model caused me some confusion, and no doubt it's caused confusion to many other modelers. And it starts off with the fact that on this locomotive is called D1023. Now, my confusion started when I started to look through a book. It was called Diesels, a Driver's Reminiscences by someone called L.C. Jacks, a former driver on British Rail, and he drove all the diesels. And that book refers to Western Enterprise as being D1000. When I looked through also the book about Class 52, the Westerns, also you could see that D1000 was actually the correct number. Now what happened was, for some reason, Lima managed to get confused with Western Fusilier, which I think at the time, so rumour has it, was actually painted in desert sand livery. They saw that one and assumed that was D1023 when it should be D1000. Now there's two options you've got to actually with this model. One, you can leave it as it is, which I've decided to do up until now, and leave it as a talking point, which I think is quite fine. Now I decided eventually, I managed to get some etched naming number plates for Chameau Serre, my locomotive. We might somebody do that, the LNER locomotive. And I thought, why don't I do the same for Western Enterprise and renumber it correctly? Now, we were given two options by Fox Transfers, and they suggested that the red plates is the one that's for the one in desert sand livery. Now, whether or not that's right or wrong, I do not know. It would appear like they originally appeared in black with black naming number plates, but then they were given red naming number plates. So either could be correct, but they suggested that the red plates be used for the desert sand livery. Okay, now these are the transfers here. Okay, so I hope we can see that clearly. And that's given the right numbers for D1000, Western Enterprise. There's also some very fiddly plates to be added to it as well, but we'll go through and we'll just check where those have got to go. Now if you just bear with me just one moment. So hopefully you can see there the number plate, it says D1023. And then you can see the nameplate there, Western Enterprise. Now we've got some various details we can actually fit onto this locomotive. We've also got the crest at the end there. So we do get one of those to stick on as well. And we also get very, very small oval plates, which I'm not sure, looking at this particular model, where it actually needs to go. So we'll have a look at that and we'll see if any instructions come with it. But there we are, that's the Western Enterprise, and that's the offending number D1023. Right, so we've got the model lead on its side, and we need to take a look at these new plates to go on. Okay, so they've got them there for us. So we might have to just raise the camera up just a tiny weeny bit. There we are, so a little bit more central on the model now. And just adjusting a few angles so I can see exactly what I'm up to. There we are. There we go. So we're quite reasonably okay now with it. Okay, so Right, so okay, so that's going to be the new name and number plates on there. And I'm going to be using a substance called glue and glaze. Okay, now the reason I'm using glue and glaze is because it does a very good job of sticking things on, but it's water soluble, so should you eventually decide to remove these plates for any reason, you can do that. And it's also quite good if you're not satisfied with the position of the plates themselves. Right, so we're getting ready to fix on one of the plates. Now what I've noticed, there's a couple of little odd bits on the plate itself. Try and get the focus on there. Okay, and what's happening is that I need to trim these plates a little bit. Now I found probably the best way of doing this is with a file. We'll just do a bit of filing and I'll be back with you once I finish filing. Right, now the advantage of glue and glaze is that it will dry clear, so if you make any errors in applying this stuff, you should be okay. Now basically what I'm going to do is just squeeze some glue and glaze onto a piece of card, like so. A nice little lump there. Okay, and then now I'm holding this with a little bit of tape. Okay, so I can keep a hold of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to apply a little bit of glue, spread it nice and thinly with a cocktail stick. As if you've got slightly too much, it'll be wiped off quite easily. Okay, then what we'll do is we're going to place this over here. Cover up the old plate. Try and get as straight as possible. Then once it's positioned, I can move the tape away a little bit. Okay, so I'm reasonably pleased with the actual positioning of this name plate now. That should gradually dry. And when it has dried, I can wipe off any excess with a cotton bud or even a bit of paper towel. I usually might do it. So let's have a look. Right, so let's have a look now. Yeah, now any excess glue which was on there is actually gone now, and this nameplate, sorry, is now stuck down to the side of the engine. Brilliant, so that's done there. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the same for the other side. And again, what I've done is I've just put a little bit of thin piece of glue onto this, held it with some tape while I applied the glue. and we just press this firmly on to where it needs to go. I let the glue get a little bit tacky as well, so we'll now if I'm not pleased with this, it's not stuck on there forever, thank goodness. So I'm going to be bending this So I just wasn't happy with the way that fitted on then, so I'll give this another attempt. Okay, so we'll leave that to dry now. Just make sure it's relatively straight. And it's covering up the old nameplate. I'm going to be quite happy with that. Okay, so we'll leave that, and then we'll just wait for this dry a little bit. Then as soon as the glue's dry, slight reposition there, I believe. No, that's alright. Well, I think we're about right there now. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So when this is dry, I can just rub the excess off with a cotton bud, just a wet cotton bud. Right, now I've managed to separate the D1000, and I've tried as an experiment now. I'm going to try this as an experiment. I'm going to try to put some glue onto the model itself first, and then position the plate, number plates, onto the model afterwards. So right, so we'll just position that a little bit better. I'm sorry if I'm masking anything with my hands here, but we're trying to get this this plate put on now. Now it doesn't quite cover up the black background that's underneath, so I'm going to try and position this as evenly as possible. But I'll leave it there. So that's D1000 we put on there now, so there will not be any confusion hopefully now over to what is the correct number for this particular locomotive is now D1000. It didn't quite cover up the black background, but I think, well, we won't worry too much about that. We've got the correct number on there now. That's glued on, wait for that to dry. And then we'll move on to the other number at this end as well. Right, so now we've got to position the D1000 plate here. And again, I've satisfied myself that that's reasonably straight. And that doesn't leave us with a great deal of plates to attach now. Now it doesn't quite cover up the black background on here, but I think if we just leave a little bit either side, leave it even, it's not going to look too bad. It's not going to be perfect, but it won't be too bad. Now afterwards, like I say, once this glue's dried, we can wipe off any excess with a damp cotton bud. Be no problem at all. There we go, we can clear. There's a little bit of muck on the side of the engine there. Don't know what that was, but it's come off pretty easily. Okay, so we're left with just a few more plates to attach. Now I need to know, I've got a couple more plates here to go on. There's the lion crest at the end. And that's right under the cab. So we'll get those trimmed and we'll get these stuck on as well. Right, so what I've done is I've actually fitted all the transfer on that I can. There's this one more crest to go on the front here. Once I've done that, the model should be relatively complete. Now, let's say any excess glue can be wiped off later. I'm going to let the glue dry on this side here, and then when it's all dry, we're going to give Western Enterprise a run, and that should complete our little video. Sorry for the little things being a little bit off centre. It's a bit of a learning curve for me, this doing these locomotives, and doing my best, but and figuring things out as I go along. Okay, so I think we're winning. We'll get that one last crest put on now, I think, and then we can call it a day, just for now. Right, so mission accomplished. We've got Western Enterprise nameplates, D1000, and the little crest on the end there. It's not perfectly done, but it's all right. It's good for a second attempt. I mean, my first attempt was Chamasser. And then the same on this side, we've got our D1000 and Western Enterprise. So our Western Enterprise now is correctly numbered. So no more confusion to anyone who's watching this one going round the layout. The correct number is D1000 and not D1023, okay? So if you've enjoyed watching this video, please press the like button and please subscribe. And ring that bell to be alerted for any future videos. And I should bid you bye bye for now, and then the next thing you'll see hopefully will be a running session with my Western Enterprise. Thank you very much, and bye bye for now.